Hey y'all, welcome to Humming Catfish. Today we're going to be making Cathead Biscuits. So get washed up, grab your cast iron skillet, thought I was going to say cat, and let's go. Now the difference between Cathead biscuits and like the regular buttermilk biscuits I make sometimes, buttermilk biscuits, it's kind of the same recipe pretty much, except the Cathead biscuits, you're not rolling it out and cutting it into like uniform shapes. The buttermilk biscuits are usually, you know, a lot smaller like that. They're a good accompaniment to a meal, whereas Cathead biscuit is more like it's the meal. Like you put some gravy over that and you're good to go. So while Cathead biscuits aren't made with cats, they are the size of a cat's head. Let's get to our ingredients. First thing, of course, is flour. I'm just using a Walmart all-purpose flour, kind I always use. You're gonna want some baking powder, baking soda, some salt. Now you want to pick what kind of grease you want to use. You can use like a vegetable shortening. I've tried butter Crisco before, and that was pretty good, but it's so expensive now. I'm not touching that. I just use a rendered fat. It has a good flavor. I know it's not as good for you as like a vegetable shortening, but can't beat the flavor. You're also gonna want some buttermilk. Now, if you're like me and you don't have buttermilk around, you'll just need milk and vinegar, and I'll go over that with y'all. Last thing is a little bit of sugar. It's optional, but I find it does kind of bring out all the flavors together. All right, first thing we're gonna do is get our oven set to 450 degrees. Now put a little lump of whatever kind of grease you're using and put your skillet in the oven, get it heated up. All right, before we get started mixing here, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar to my 2 cups of milk to make it into a buttermilk. Now that we have the milk with the vinegar, or if you have buttermilk, you don't have to do that. We're gonna let that go ahead and kind of do its thing. But we're gonna take 4 cups of flour, which is 480 grams of flour if you're weighing it. I'm gonna be sifting my flour, but before I do that, I'm gonna be adding 2 tablespoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of salt, so that all gets all mixed in. So let's get sifting. And now I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. All right, now I'm just gonna mix in the sugar. All right, we got all of our dry ingredients mixed up together, and take a look at how the buttermilk's coming. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of getting chunky. All right, now it's time to add our shortening. I just add what I think is about like 2 eggs worth. So about like that, 2 of those. I guess they're small eggs. That's a bigger egg. So I guess 2 medium-sized eggs would be the right size. All right, so what we are gonna do, you have your 2 lumps of whatever kind of shortening you're gonna be using in your flour. And now just, it's hard to explain how I do it. Just cover it with flour and then just start pinching the flour into it. And just keep doing that until it's kind of all dispersed. All right, so now it's about like that, kind of crumbly. All right, now we're gonna add the buttermilk just a little bit at a time over here to the side. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in and pull some of the flour into it. You can add it all at once if you want. I just find that I don't overwork the dough if I add it a little bit at a time. There's probably about 3 tablespoons of the buttermilk left that I didn't use. But I think depending on the humidity and everything, you might find that you need to use all of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a napkin and I'm going to put some flour on here. Might be a little too much, but I'm just going to kind of spread that around. That'll be a nice floured surface to get these onto. So I'm going to get the pan and let's get to throwing. Alright, so I have the hot cast iron skillet that's got a little bit of that grease melted in the bottom. So what I'm going to start doing is grabbing some handfuls of this, like that, about the size of a cat's head. And I'm going to put it over here onto my napkin that's got some flour in it and kind of roll it around a little bit. And then this way we can kind of shape them how we want. And then into the pan. I'm going to keep doing that. I should get probably four biscuits out of this. Like that, you're not really shaping them a lot. You're just kind of giving them you're giving them a shape. Now, I know some people say if you can fit more than 3 in your pan, you're making them too small, but I am using a big pan. Alright, I'm going to get these in the oven. I think earlier I said 450. It's actually 425. I'll make a note of that on the film. It's going to be about 15 minutes. We're going to start checking them. So let's get them in. Alright, here they are. They sure do smell good. It's still really hot. You can see the bottom gets a nice golden brown. And the top nicely browned. That was probably about 18 minutes. Let's go ahead and cut into this. Woo, that's hot. If you let them cool down a little bit better, they split easier. But there you have it, Cathead biscuit. Now, I'm going to be putting my favorite on it. Everybody's got a different version of what a cathead biscuit is to them. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to make a cathead. They all eat the same. This is just how I do it. Well, that's all I got for y'all today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And if you like what I'm doing, I surely would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.
Well, I laid down last night. Well, I tried to